So we're in the middle of a meeting, as you can see. This is how it looks like. So this is how a proper meeting looks like. You know the difference with the asynchronous synchrone matrix, which I tell all the time. I wanted to explore that a little bit deeper because there are two things. One, there is this Amazon 6-pager meeting myth. A meeting that you prepare on 6 pages because then you actually thought through everything and you were clear to make that point. And then on the other hand, the understanding why this part of preparation is so important and why it's not a waste of time to have that prepared before the meeting. The expert I want to ask now is my good friend and communication expert, Conor Neill, a keynote speaker, a teacher. He will give us a lot of insights into that, and we will try to take out the most important parts and share that to bring people back to thinking before they actually do the stuff. The world well-known YouTuber, good friend, entrepreneur, keynote speaker, Conor Neill, and actually the one person who wrote an article that you find, I think, under the top 3, when you Google it, about the Amazon 6-pager meeting, which is a meeting format I learned about from rumors from former Amazon employees. And it's been said that Jeff Bezos was known for hating presentations and putting everything to a 6-page format. And Conor, you're the person who wrote about it. So give us a glimpse inside that. And why do you know about the Amazon 6-page meeting?
When I wrote about Amazon and that Jeff Bezos years ago, he decided PowerPoint is easy for a presenter and hard for a listener. PowerPoint makes it easy to throw up some bullet points, throw up some general ideas, but you make the audience have to do the hard work of connecting how things fit together, what it means. So what he did in the senior management meetings of Amazon was to ban PowerPoint and make it a requirement that people write 6 pages setting out their proposal, setting out what's involved, what's already been done, before they can bring it to the meeting. And I think that the second part is that the first 30 minutes of every management team meeting in the higher levels of Amazon is silence. People come in, they sit in the room, the 6-page handout is handed out, and it's 30 minutes of silent reading. If someone wants to say something 3-4 minutes in, no. Read the full 6 pages and take your time to think about your response. So I work with people to really take an idea, think about what action do you need from the group during the meeting. Can they approve it in the meeting? Do you want a signature? Do you want them to give you a name of someone to contact? What is the action you want from someone in that meeting? And the very first thing that you write down at the top of the page is, when I have finished speaking, my audience will. People think this is silly during the course, but years later, they say, this thing of always, before you begin to write an email, before you pick up a phone call, before you start preparing a speech you'll give 3 years from now or 3 months from now on a stage, begin by visualizing the people with whom you're going to be, the audience, and thinking, what action do I want them to take immediately when I have finished?
Okay, so there are several questions like, why do you actually need to write it down? Why do you actually need to sit there and type and write it down?
Even if your company does not have a culture where you are required to write down 6 pages of memo to justify the ideas, I think it's a great personal habit to get into. I think I have my notebook here. When I have things that I want to persuade other people about, I open it, put a page, and start to write down, just get the ideas out of my head and onto paper and organize them. And whether or not the companies in which you work have the policy of 6-page memos, I think it is a wonderful habit to get into, because each time you take an idea out of your head and you lay it out and you structure it well, you're improving your own process of thinking. So if each time you do it, it'll be difficult the first few times, but over the years, it's going to start to really help clarify the quality of your thinking, the quality of your decision making, the quality of the separation of what's important and what's superfluous. And I think, for me, the blog post that I wrote on the 6-page memo from Amazon, and my particular view of why it forces thinking before the meeting. And I think meetings need to be work, but more important than the meeting is the preparation you demand for people to come to the meeting. I think when people just wander in saying, hey, what's this about? Get them out of the space. Give people work to do to come to meetings, and don't let them come without the work done. And this as a culture starts to make meetings not just time that I use to fill my day, but time that I use to focus on moving forward with the areas that I'm stuck. I think lots of EO companies take on the Verne Harnish idea of the huddle. And I think that's a format of meeting that is worth exploring. So the 6-page memo is when you really are clear that you're committed to something and you're looking for the support from others. The huddle is just about each person becoming intentional each day on how they plan to use the day. My niece, who's 13 years old, we were traveling through Europe last year, and she asked, with all the teaching, what's the most important lesson, Conor, that you've learnt in life? Which is quite a profound question to have from a 13-year-old, and quite daunting to think how, with my 44 years of life experience, my years of entrepreneurs organization, forum and training, what is the most important lesson? And my answer to her was the wisdom prayer of St. Augustine, which is, give me the strength to change the things I can change, the patience to accept the things I cannot change, and the wisdom to tell the difference.